The next few slides are taken unaltered from the first State of the Union address this year because nothing has changed here. We are still lacking motivated and skilled volunteers. Our funding situation is still miserable with no signs of improvement towards the end of the year. And we have lots of technical debt, especially with regards to our build and hosting infrastructure. And Linux distributions continue to phase out X11 in favor of Wayland. This is also a slide from June, and let me say things have taken a turn from the worse since then, as you can see highlighted here. So, as I already explained in June, we are in dire need of help, both on the funding and on the manpower side. And this is why in June I had offered my resignation as first chairman of the board at Orca. But since nobody else stepped up, I remained in the position, and actions have consequences, but inaction has consequences as well. So the results were as expected. Pretty much nothing got done, save for the bare minimum to keep Orca alive and a few events that we took part in or hosted ourselves. And I had originally planned to resign for good at the last Orca assembly, which took place yesterday. But as it turns out, resigning right now without a capable replacement ready to take over would hurt both me / my company and Orca in several ways, as it would introduce further delays and possible confusion and or irritation in our communication with potential X2Go supporters. Luckily, our newest Orca member, Naira, sorry for butchering your name, Naira Grabowski has volunteered to step up into a managerial assistant role, hopefully enabling her to take over a chairwoman position at the next Orca board elections in early March 2025. Our goal is that Naira will have been shown the ropes by early March and, given sufficient votes from the Orca Assembly, will become a chairwoman of the Orca board by then. What we cannot predict for sure is what the board will look like after the next elections. Most likely, one of the seats will be held by Naira, the other by either Mike or me. However, the board might also be extended to 3 seats, with all 3 of them becoming or remaining board members. During the coming weeks and months, my main task regarding Orca will be to show Naira what needs to be done, especially regarding planning and preparation of events, but also regarding communication with authorities like our tax office. Therefore, and because it is unclear if I will still be a board member by then, the date for X2Go The Gathering 2025 will be announced on or after March 2nd, 2025, when Orca has settled on a new board. So that was the big news part. Next up is the review of the events we attended since June and an outlook on events to come. These are the events we didn't host ourselves, but we attended them in some way or another. Kilux Kiel, Germany, which was a hybrid event, and we took part remotely with a talk. Followed by Linux Day AT in Dornbirn, Austria, where we had a booth and also a talk slot. And then was Interfug Chemnitz, which was also a hybrid event where we were able to present remotely. And finally, a purely virtual event, Tuxtage Online 2024, with another talk. In the 3 months following the gathering, we hosted 3 more virtual bug squashing parties, shortened to VBSPs, ourselves. Scheduling, however, remains difficult and needs further work. So, a quick question to the usual suspects present. Should we aim for one last bug squashing party for this year in December, or would that be too close to holiday season and we should hold back until 2025? Juri,
yeah, rather at the beginning of December than at the end, or like I don't know.
Yeah, but still, even beginning of December might be too close to the holiday season for some, so that's why I'm asking if you should do one at all.
Yeah, I'm saying if then rather, for example, I don't know, around the 6th or 5th, maybe not. So first week, second week of December for me. That should work. The further it gets towards Christmas, the more busy things become here.
Yeah, that's quite obvious. But like I said, some people might prefer to have December completely off. That's what I'm asking. Juri, Mihai, how's the situation with you? Any preference? Should we do another final 2024 bug squashing party, or should we wait out until holidays are over?
I would wait that holidays are over.
I probably won't have time for this stuff during December anyway.
Okay,
Yeah.
so none in December. I guess that's settled. All right. We also hosted Orca's annual General Assembly yesterday, and obviously this week is the week of X2Go, TheSpread. These events are planned for the first quarter of 2025. However, as of now, we have not sent in any applications to FOSDEM or CLT, nor have we sent out invitations to the Orca event. However, all dates shown here are already fixed and confirmed, and deadlines for the CFPs have been announced or, in the case of FOSDEM booth, have already expired. The events you can see listed here are events that we expect to take place again in 2025, but they have not announced their event dates yet, or in the case of X2Go The Gathering, we have not settled on one yet. Again, as mentioned earlier, we are not expecting an X2Go TheSpread in 2025. So, assuming we do not experience another pandemic situation, the most likely locations for X2Go The Gathering 2025 will either be Linux Hotel Essen or Shackspace Stuttgart, depending on budget and availability of the locations. Also, taking an educated guess based on past experience, the most likely event date for X2Go The Gathering 2025 will probably be late second or early third quarter of 2025 due to the summer holiday situation and the temperature and weather conditions. So, as I said, there will most likely be no X2Go TheSpread, only an X2Go The Gathering in 2025, with a no X2Go The Gathering, only X2Go TheSpread option as a fallback. And this concludes my State of the Union address. Tomorrow I'll be showing you a portable DHCP proxy that allows you to boot X2Go thin client images wherever you are. And Mihai will present a quick and short progress report regarding X2Go K-Drive on the ARM64 platform and his behind-the-scenes work on our virtual PowerPC instances hosted at Oregon State University's Open Source Lab. That's all from me for now, unless you have any questions. If not, we'll have a quick break and then we'll continue with the brainstorming and discussion round regarding X2Go's funding situation. Any questions, anybody? All right, no questions. Oh, you would like to speak, Juri? Oh. Ah, applause, okay. All right, so since nobody has voiced any questions, let me just pull up the break slider. And we'll be back soon with the discussion round. And I'll stop the recording just to be sure. Confirm stop.
My recording is still running, but yeah.
Yeah, you can keep running. I might run into disk space issues, or probably we won't.
But I didn't start my recording at the start. I started
gigabyte.
it a few, like 2 minutes after he started talking.
X2Go the 2024 day 1. Let's see how big this is. 223 megabytes, that's okay. All right, just let me grab something to eat and to drink and turn off the annoying other laptop, and we'll be right back. So, wie sagt der Schweizer? Zuckerstößli. All right. Quite honestly, I did not pay attention to the clock when I finished my talk, so I'll just eyeball it and claim that 5 minutes are over. I hope you're all ready for the second part, because I'm going to start recording now. And let me switch back to my presenter view. All right. Okay, everybody. Welcome back. We're about to start our brainstorming and discussion session regarding X2Go's funding situation. We'll have two main items to discuss. One is the application for the Sovereign Tech Fund, which we are currently working on, we being Mike and me. And the other is the situation with our donation collection platform, Better Place. We'll start off with the Sovereign Tech Fund, and in case we run out of time, we can schedule another round for the Better Place issue on one of the following days, probably Wednesday or Thursday. So let's start with a quick recap of what we've done so far regarding the Sovereign Tech Fund application. I'll leave the details to Mike, but in short, we've had 2 online meetings where he and I were fleshing things out together. I also contacted around 35 or 40 large non-commercial users of X2Go, mainly universities, for moral support and letters of recommendation. And we actually received some useful and valuable feedback from some of them. However, my impression is that there's still a lot of work that needs to be done until we can apply. And quite frankly, I don't see us finishing anytime soon. So, Mike, do you think you can alleviate my fears and maybe come up with a rough timeline for further meetings and when we should be ready to file the application? Okay, no reply from Mike, so maybe he took the 5 minutes literally.
No. The headset was switched off.
Oh dear.
So I have a deadline project that should end this week. I hope to finish it, except from some fine tunings, and then make the customer happy with it. And that removes something that's really mind blocking at the moment. So the idea, what we can do is we can schedule meetings to continue the work on this after 23rd. And we can do like, I don't know, we could do like 2 hours per week, have a regular slot. I can't just, I mean, I don't think working on the text for more than half a day in a row makes sense, because then the brain starts smoking.
Yeah, or maybe like we could work longer than that, but we would have to schedule breaks in between.
Yeah, that. But it's normally my weekly business doesn't allow that. So what we could do is we could have like 2-hour weekly arrangements in the calendar where we sort of work on the text, and also do, because if so what doesn't work for me most of the time is working on it silently, because other stuff will sort of find its way in the foreground. So it's good to have to define a slot in the calendar and work on that together on the document, which is possible on the Nextcloud, the Nextcloud editor or Markdown editor, and see to move this forward. Yeah, and I can offer, I don't know. We could say every Friday morning, for example, would work for me. Like
Friday morning. Okay, let me see.
Friday morning is good.
Because I thought we had I think our last appointment was a Thursday, but I might be mistaken.
So my most productive time is between 9 and 11. So I'd prefer that to
because
use.
The thing is, I'm basically under house arrest each Monday and each Thursday morning. So I'm basically stuck in my office or stuck in my room, and that means it's perfect time to work on this together. So if a Monday or Thursday slot in the morning would work for you, we could schedule that as a regular appointment.
Yeah.
Or does it have to be Friday?
No. Oh, actually, Friday. I forgot about the yoga session of my wife. So, yeah, let's do. So 28th should be possible. I have to check that individually. Okay. 28th, 5th of December should be possible. The 12th won't be possible.
Okay,
and
so
the 19th and the 19th neither. That's 2 days.
Earlier on, when we were discussing bug squashing parties, you said nothing past the first 2 weeks of December would work for you. So could we do these meetings even later in December?
No. The bug squashing is evening meetings. So that is taken from family time, while what the Sovereign Tech Fund discussion would be in the morning at work time, and that is of course doable shortly before Christmas, until shortly before Christmas.
Okay, so starting 9 a.m. you said?
I'd say so, yes.
Okay, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And
I have a hard cut then, because I have a data board meeting at 11 normally.
All right. Okay, so I'm scheduling you for November 28th at 9 a.m.
Yeah, putting it into my calendar.
And we'll see how many of those follow-up dates we'll need. So I'm at the moment I'm not scheduling any further, but we'll keep those in mind if we need.
Yeah, let's schedule the 5th of December as well.
Okay.
But the other Thursdays before Christmas won't work for me because of other stuff that's happening then. You could do Monday the 16th, maybe. If you say Monday is good as well, also at 9. Wait, 9, yeah.
Hold on. My calendar app is acting up. Hold on. So, okay, got the 5th scheduled as well. Which one was the next one?
16th.
Oh, 16th probably doesn't work for me because
Okay.
that's a family anniversary.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no, 16th. So, you were alternating between Mondays and Thursdays. Okay.
Yeah, because the Thursdays don't work then anymore.
Okay.
The 12th is blocked, and the 19th is too close to Christmas. And it's holidays here already at school, so I don't know what's going on then.
Okay, yeah, but Monday probably won't work for me. It's like a family anniversary. Monday the 9th? 9th? Or too early?
That's too early after the other thing, maybe.
Okay.
So
Okay,
11.
so let's just leave it at those two for the time being.
Okay.
And what's your gut feeling? Do you think, or what do you think? How long will it take us to get the application ready?
So the most difficult bit is to. I've just discussed that with my wife again today. That I'm really bad at making estimations how long things take in software development. I mean, this is what I really do on a daily basis and writing quotes and whatnot, and I never get it right. So we can just put any kind of hours there and hope that they don't kick us out because we have estimated too many hours. And at the end, so the problem I see is if we do the estimation too low, we don't put in enough hours, then we create a hobby project. So both would be really bad. And especially so what we let me just share my screen, maybe. I add a screen sharing, Stefan.
Okay, I'll disable mine. Hold on.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I've opened the Nextcloud document that we've been working on. So what we try to prioritize is, first of all, what kind of tasks or projects or project titles or however we call that should be put into such a proposal. I mean, we have loads of ideas we can put in anything really, but it must be somehow realistic, something that we can complete within a year or something. So one thing is that X2Go has IPv6 only support or IPv6 only problems, mainly because if you use NX, NX hard-codedly only knows about IPv4, and it's probably only a few locations in NXComp where we need to add IPv6 support. And only then we can do the X2Go server plumbing via SSH tunnels and whatnot between an IPv6 external address and a ::1 localhost address.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Too much detail.
No,
Yeah.
no, technical issue.
Technical issue.
Yeah.
Ah.
The recording stopped. My local recording stopped. I need to restart.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what got into this thing, but now it should be recording again.
Okay, so this is one thing that will make X2Go more future-proof, because there will be areas in the world where IPv6 only will become a thing pretty soon. Already is, like Hack for Clavos. But that's probably also a chosen thing. So it's but some internet providers don't offer IPv4 anymore in some regions of the world. So they should really have IPv6 only support if they want to use X2Go. So then we have a really unknown figure, and that is releasing X2Go client with K-Drive support for Linux. Okay, that's easy, but for macOS and Windows. And basically, Stefan, the estimation of the letter to operating systems I can't do because I don't know. I can guess ages. It will take ages, but I can't count them. So
This is actually something that Mihai is probably most qualified to
I know.
answer, because he is the one who keeps complaining about how old and rotten our build infrastructure is. So he should probably have an idea of what needs to be done.
Yeah. So maybe what you could do is take one other Thursday that I'm not available and catch Mihai or whatever date and try to come up with some figures for the macOS and the Windows part. And of course, we want to. So maybe we could add in a Mac Mini so that we get away from the macOS hosting, or maybe even get two. And
the thing about this is we've discussed this at least once before. I'm not sure if it was at the gathering or at the previous TheSpread event. And the whole discussion was always lease or host versus buy, and it always went down about yes, we have one-time costs when we buy it, but this hardware ages, and there will be a time when we'll need to buy a new one. And the idea with a hosted solution is that we buy a service and not a machine, or we rent a service and we don't buy a machine instead. Our current hosting provider is at a disadvantage, or is a disadvantage for us because they bill us a flat rate per month. What we would actually need is a system that we can spawn, run our task on it, and shut it down or destroy it again, and only pay for the actual use.
So Hetzner has this for Linux or just x86 and ARM devices, and it's not Mac OS related. It's really based on Linux and their virtual machine solution, and they don't have this service either. So what basically where something very similar to that is offered is in Kubernetes environments, but then that's neither Mac OS. So I think we don't. Do we know that such a thing exists for Mac OS?
Well, it would be worth a look if it exists.
Yeah. Okay.
Before we simply blindly buy a new hardware, which will require replacement in a few years.
Yeah. So the thing is,
I have seen such services.
You have seen such, and they can be combined with Jenkins.
They may be combined with something what support SSH.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's good enough for Jenkins.
Okay.
But so you want to spin up a machine on demand?
Yeah.
Okay. We want to talk about funding. So we are getting off topic here, but in a nutshell,
just to sum it up, before we make the decision to buy new hardware, we should evaluate if there is a Mac OS as a service offer with competitive pricing. That's the point.
Yeah. And at the moment, we can buy one Mac per year because the pricing of our Mac OS hosting is probably more expensive than one Mac Mini, right? So I remember something of 1,200.
1,200 euros per year, yes.
I don't know how expensive these devices. Huh?
We get two instances for that price, not just a single one. That's
yeah, but we don't need to really.
We bought or we went to because that was what Mihai asked for.
So they have different operating systems?
Yeah. They have one has a new operating system, the other has an older operating system, so that we can build batteries for different.
And they are both x86 because I think that is also a cup of tea, really, right?
Yeah, and they are also outdated, and I don't even think if they will continue to work in the same way that they used before, because the host is actually using VMware to virtualize those machines, and I think that VMware stopped supporting it or Apple stopped supporting it. Anyway, it probably won't work for ARM hardware anyway. So that's probably not going to work in the future.
So
And-
we have
yeah.
we have in UB ports we have, I think, 2 or 3 M1s running Linux, not Mac OS, but the same hardware, and they've been running, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years now, and they were just once bought and then never thought about it again. So we can spend a lot of time on this researching. We could just say, okay, the next 1,200 euro don't go to the hoster, they go anyway. And we could put Mac OS Mini M1s, whatever, into the budget here. So that should also be looked at.
Yeah.
That's the message here. All in all, we have these one-time expenses, but then we can be more flexible, and and if we have money, we can add stuff. So
Okay.
So we have this full release X2Go, the release of X2Go client with K-Drive for Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. And we said that Stefan and Mihai will look at the numbers to update the build system, to sort of maybe buy hardware, rent hardware, and we have some.
Let me
wait,
just.
Yeah.
Okay. Just one quick interjection. So, I know that you have difficulties adding price tags or hour tags to those items. That is not what worries me. What worries me is the other open questions and points in this questionnaire.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, it maybe my gut feeling is wrong. Maybe
Yeah, it's
maybe
the other
you're
just
totally
diligent
happy with that.
No, the other bits are really diligence. There are a lot of questions that can be easily answered, and maybe we have to sort of boil it down to short sentences and whatnot, but that's doable. And also, I think it's good to do this in a pair programming style or pair writing style, so that we sort of try to really boil it down and really find good answers that are not too.
Okay, so
I'm not sure which of those aspects do you think is sort of worrying you?
it's the larger image, like looking at the whole questionnaire and seeing how many questions are ambiguous. We don't know the proper answers to, and it also it's
Yeah, you have
feels
to make up a
overwhelming.
story then. Well, not make up a story, but you can never answer the full scope. So who's using X2Go? Well, yeah, everyone and no one. So you have to make up something and try to find a gist of what you want to convey. So it should match with some people's reality, but you won't catch them all. So I don't know.
This whole dilemma of being limited in the size of my answer, because they have word limits on each question, sometimes as low as 300 or 100 words, with the scope of our project. That's what worries me. How can I condense our project, like in this question here, describe your project in a sentence with maximum of 100 words? So that's
300 here it says.
This one, yeah, but the one above says 100.
Yeah,
And
so
there are
for
lots
example,
of questions like this in this questionnaire.
okay, so for example, this one here. So you can basically this is all non-content. You can remove this. X2Go offers, well, maybe remote desktop, remote application with performance. So you can really cut down this sentence. You can cut it down to half, and it's less linguistically attractive, but you get the reduction of words. So so I have done that. I've done that for a study that I did with Dataport, and we had to write down a Fazit. What is that in English? I don't know. Conclusion. And
Management summary.
Yeah, management summary, and we started with like 5 pages, and we had to boil it down to 1 page. And the more we boiled it down, the better the text became.
Abstract.
No kidding. No kidding. It was so every word had weight, and there were no filling words anymore. There were short sentences, and it was like 3 times hit with a gun. So I think it's totally doable, and I've done it before. And you just have to get away from beautifications and fill words. So it's done. And you can't put all the information in. You have to look at all the information and say, okay, but the most important bits and pieces are these and that and that. So you have to really condense the message you want to convey.
Well, given that you already have the file open at the moment, could you scroll up or down? I believe probably down to the question where they ask where X2Go is currently used.
Yeah,
I just thought this should be it.
So this is the specific scenario for the use of your technology.
Exactly this.
Which target and the target groups here?
We had listed the German Red Cross there, and we need to remove them because they're no longer using it, sadly. But we have feedback from several universities that.
Wait, Stefan.
Yeah.
Stefan, it's not saying. Please describe a scenario that is actively used. They say describe a specific scenario for the use of your technology. So I really love this example of the Red Cross thing. And maybe it is so, except from university computer labs and high performance cluster access, it is such a charming scenario. It doesn't mean it has to be real. We could even invent a scenario here that is absolutely typical of our X2Go technology. So, for example, what you're doing tomorrow with the thin client presentation, it's people don't use IT in this way, but it's a very good scenario that we could describe here. I would
I'm with you that we could, in theory, leave the Red Cross example in there, because yes, the question is once again one of those ambiguous ones. I would not feel happy about a completely made-up scenario. But what I would like to point out is that we have received several replies from several universities, all pointing to the same use in the mathematics teaching and research section.
Yes,
and I think that should be a point that we need to add here.
Definitely. Yeah.
Department of Mathematics at several universities, both for teaching and research.
Yeah.
And just so we remember that we both talked about it, put a small note behind the Red Cross one that it's no longer in use, but we will still keep it in. Because otherwise, if I scroll past this text in a few weeks and don't remember that we talk about it, I might just delete it, and we actually decided to keep it in. Okay,
so I actually find it so charming. I want to share it here. So what they did is
actually we have the full explanation in English on our wiki.
Okay, but they had this emergency case of emergency IT center or IT lab so they had basically a trolley with a server on it and had Fujitsu thin clients, and within a fraction of an hour they could set up a full my English is bad today.
Equal goes it lose. English for runaways.
So a multi-workstation IT system scenario thing for emergency whatever troops.
So Mike, when
anyway.
I tried to switch my screen sharing, that was what caused my recording to stop. So in case of me trying to share my screen again, could you just switch over to the Jitsi chat room, pick the link I posted, and share that one in your screen so everybody can read the Red Cross example?
Yeah, or they can just open the link.
Or that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, but back. So yeah, please look at the link yourself. So I would like to go back to what we want to put into this funding. We had discussed that on the X2Go gathering, and we have sort of fine-tuned this a little bit more, but it needs more clarification, I guess, and the numbers. So I won't dive into that again. So, but we definitely want to fix sustainingly the launching X2Go client with the Wayland display and launching then on X Wayland the NX parts. And X2Go K drive actually needs also an X socket. Yeah, okay. No, actually not. The X2Go K drive client can run in Wayland, and it can render an X session via X2Go. So this needs some love, and it's totally doable. So we at the moment I think we have this workaround in Debian that we set the QDQPA platform to XCB, and then everything runs on X11, X2Go client, and then of course all the rest. But we want to have a mixed scenario here. So and then we want to additionally provide free RDP for RDP over NX or X2Go K drive sessions. So we thought that this should really be part of the X2Go next X2Go release, plus all the builds and build system, whatever redoings that are needed. So and then we have another thing that is debatable, but really turn the X2Go HTML client into something that people want to use and can use, and that so that it gets embedded into a nifty and shiny web UI, basically, which can be in this scenario, which could be combined with the X2Go broker. So X2Go broker at the moment has one config backend that is files on the file system. So you need some admin, and then the admin can edit files, and then the broker, the Python X2Go broker, presents session profiles, and you can put ACLs in it and whatever. And this the storing of session profiles could also happen, for example, in some MySQL database. And then you need to write a config backend for the broker that can access this MySQL database or Postgres, whatever. And you can have a web interface with which you can configure those. So you can add profiles, you can remove profiles, you can say, okay, all students can use this X2Go session profile, and it's actually maybe a load balanced, access to a load balanced server cluster where you have your X2Go server installations on. And then you have, for the mathematical guys, you have special computers that get offered, and so on and so on. So this could be a combination. And users, so admins can provide session profiles that are available by default, and then maybe even users can add session profiles by themselves, or they can use a template that's provided by the admins and can change that, because maybe could be that one server, X2Go server, has two desktops, and you can choose the desktop you want to run on that. So whatever, this is all thinkable, and this, we could put that into the application. And then another thing we thought about was VNC support in X2Go. So this is actually two very different cup of teas. One could be that X2Go client, as it can do a direct RDP session connection, could do a direct VNC session connection. So if you have some VNC service or whatever, QEMU, whatever provides VNC, you could use X2Go client to directly connect to it. And another story could be that XVNC, for example, or some Wayland VNC server could become a third graphical backend next to NX and X2Go CAD drive. So that, and then X2Go server needs to be able to handle this. So have another session type, and so on and so on. And also have a VNC viewer next to the NX proxy and next to the X2Go CAD drive client. So this could be something that could bring us in touch with people who rather like to have Wayland as desktop rendering engine. And not quite sure actually how far advanced is VNC and Wayland, but basically I think that's something to look at. And another thought was, but it's really moved to the bottom, so prio is going lower and lower. To directly, for example, provide access to GNOME RDP. So, and then even with less priority, we moved the libopenSSH wrapper and work on Python X2Go and libx2go client, because this is really, the further we go down, the less possible it is to estimate the workload that is the time that is needed for it. And also if we, yeah, so I don't want to end up with a funding proposal that we end up with not finishing. So
okay, so just for your information, I've just looked at a German Linux news website. They reported about the company Cernet receiving a almost 700,000 euro grant from Sovereign Tech Fund for advancing Samba, and their time frame is 18 months, and they have 17 milestones in 6 categories. So that's something we might keep in our mind. Just how much funding they are willing to offer for how many milestones and how many man months.
Yeah. So what we also have to make sure when we write such a proposal, I currently have one project going where I have 3 developers, and they really have to coordinate their work well, because if one is not getting finished with something, the other is blocked. And so with tasks that are not really good to parallelize, and I think here we have the broker thing. I see myself with that. We have the build environment thing that is Mihai. Stefan, I'm not quite sure, except from project management, where you see yourself technically, because we don't have any thin client stuff here, for example. So IPv6 only support. Well, we could ask Ulrich if he's available for.
Well, the thing is, obviously, I'm not a coder, I'm not a developer, but I am an administrator, and I can do quality assurance testing. So, like, if you guys believe that you finished your code, you can set me up with a demo environment, and I'll do some testings on it and see if I run into any bugs.
Yeah,
that's something I'm willing and able to do.
Yeah, at the same time, this doesn't save your company. I think you should. Maybe we should also add stuff that is really matching your profile, and the thin client environment is something where you are, where you are developing. So maybe we have forgotten a point.
Well,
that we could add in here.
We have tasks that Mihai could work on, and he will obviously be employed through my company. So
okay.
There will be a share of that money that will go directly into my company.
Okay. Yeah, but we could do it better, I think.
Okay, just add another item here with a big to-do in front. Stefan should research if TCE Live would make any sense in the application. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. For example, it's still a mystery to me how to build it, how to bootstrap it, because it happens outside of a distribution. It is mostly written in documentation and not in code. So
The funny thing about this is that I've explained it to you several times already,
yes,
but with like several months to years in between. And we always agree that, oh, this and that needs to be done, and then we could package it and offer it as a Debian package, and then it completely gets lost again, and I start explaining from scratch again.
yeah, but I mean, so
I guess
Debian
if
packaging
we
is not a
actually want-
mystery. Debian packaging is like system administration. You copy files to some places, and then when copied to the right places, they work with together.
Well,
So
there's this catch in it that the build needs a Git repository, but a local one that can be created from scratch during the install. And that's something that you always had trouble wrapping your mind around, because you saw Git, oh God, no, we cannot package something that pulls stuff from Git. And that's why you were always against packaging X2Go thin client, because you would break Debian rules, which actually you don't, because it can be a Git repository that's created from scratch on the machine in the moment the package gets installed.
which is not So it's like we have like 50,000 packages in Debian, and none of that does it. So and I guess it can be avoided. And
the actual Git repository is similar to using /etc and etc keeper or Git keeper. There's no central online Git repository that we pull stuff from.
I'm fully aware of that. Yes, but you commit stuff regularly while the TC is running.
No, this repository is used by the individual admin that builds X2Go thin client images for his site.
Yeah.
So that's where they keep their configuration for builds. It's like /etc, it's just versioned.
Okay.
So you can go back and forth in your configuration, change things, fork it, use a different branch, stuff like that.
Okay.
So say you have two different types of thin clients, and one needs a binary blob for its graphic card. Yeah. So for that one, you would create a different branch, add that binary to it, and tell your build script to build both branches.
But okay. Yeah. And why is that not kept in home simply?
You can keep this Git directory wherever you want, but it needs to be Git, because the whole live build scripts depend on Git in this stage.
Ah, okay. Okay, but live build is used by others. So I'm pretty sure they do it all without packages wrapped around, or I don't know. Yeah, maybe. So
Live build is a Debian package.
Yeah. So I'm not an expert for that, and I would need time to really dive into that. But I think that there's no conflict here. So, but you might have to adjust your flow a little bit, and maybe look at how others do it in Debian.
And this is exactly the stage that we have reached like 3 or 4 times already, and a few months later you completely forgot about it.
Yeah, maybe can be. Okay. Yeah.
So the thing is, now we have it on video, and next time you forget about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess the big question here for the Sovereign Tech Fund application is in what usage scenario would X2Go TCE Live make sense for a government or research facility, like universities or like some federal offices?
Well, for example,
if we can provide a meaningful positive answer to that, then it makes sense to list X2Go TCE Live.
Yeah. So regarding the thing is with government, budget is not a problem. So and they make a fuss about dedicated hardware, and the hardware should authenticate itself via VPN, via Wi-Fi, and the hardware should say, I am part of this network. And if that hardware doesn't know how to do that, then it should not be in that network. It shall be sort of considered foreign. So this is in quite is somehow in conflict with you have something that comes from the network and then the machine is usable. But at the same time, so if a machine gets booted from a cloud image or from a whatever, something that gets booted via Pixie, the software that is booted matters, and not that the device is the device it is. And
Well,
but there is a hen and egg problem, because most of the people who think secure device, for example, here in northern Germany, come from the Windows world.
yeah, and
So
they expect secure boot and EFI.
exactly. So but
In theory, we could boot grub over iPixie. So using grub, the signed grub shim as a loader, that should work. I believe Juri has done that even somewhere.
so but the problem but the challenge wouldn't the challenge be that so at the end, the device that boots a TCE image is absolutely irrelevant, or is it not? So could I have a device
No.
that I have tinkered with on the hardware level, and then get access to some secrets?
Like in a security conscious environment, I can completely understand their request or the demand for using secure boot and EFI and everything signed cryptographically and all that, because you need to have this chain of trust. If I boot X2Go TCE on a hardware that has been compromised, then I cannot be sure that I'm running on this actual hardware. I might be running in a VM on this hardware.
Yeah,
and
you're right.
Some Trojan is sniffing out all keyboard input and whatever.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah,
and I have a rough idea how we could simulate a secure boot on a non-secure bootable machine, but that will take some development work and some more brain power before that idea comes to fruition.
But you understand the dilemma. So of course there are thin client environments at the big customer here I'm working for, but they are used on the internal side of the network.
Yeah.
So they are definitely not used, for example, in home office. You definitely don't get a USB stick you can boot from a system on any machine that you have access to. So and again the thin clients, the appliances, they get no, they do Pixie. Do they Pixie boot for installation of them, or do they Pixie boot? I think they Pixie boot. There's one guy in my team, and I could actually ask him to do a little interview on that. No, I think they do Pixie boot of the thin client. I'm not sure. I can ask that, because then they have a commercial solution for that, or they do some self-doing thing, but then it's Citrix that they fire up, so ICA client.
Yeah.
So that is the next. Well, yeah, if you have Windows servers and RDP, you could use. I mean, I'm doing that at one customer. They have like five thin clients, and I'm proposing to have more, because they actually have a terminal server farm, but every user has they have their own desktop computers with individual installations on them. So we should really think about getting rid of those. And they run with the other X2Go thin client solution. But so
they're using NFS boot.
Yeah, it's NFS booting a Squash FS image via NFS, exactly. It's on the
Okay,
local
well, that's basically a mix of both of our offers, because at the moment the official versions of X2Go client or X2Go thin client use either a full NFS tree, so like a root file system, or they use the Squash FS, which is loaded over the network into RAM or
so in that setup, I don't use the X2Go thin client, the traditional one, and I don't use the X2Go TCE. I use LTSP. So I create a change root using the packages that we have for the mini desktop, and plumb that, and then create this change root and boot that via LTSP.
Hold on. Mini desktop completion is an item we should add.
What do you want to complete?
Well, X2Go Thin Client Edition Live has a multi-mini desktop mode, but it is not complete in the sense that I would feel happy shipping it to a customer.
Okay. I'm using it. I've been running it at various customers. Most of them are gone again.
But you are using it via NFS. And some of our packages for Debian Live build collide with settings that you have in your environment. So we would need to work out a solution that detects, oh, I'm mini desktop running on an NFS file system, or I'm mini desktop running in a live environment, and do things appropriately. And that's something I can't do by myself, because if you don't know about what I'm doing, you'll release a next package version that breaks my patch to your version.
Yeah. So
just added behind the TCE Live some MMD release ? Or something like that. NFS and Live. Okay. So
it would be really cool, Stefan, because that's, I know I will probably have forgotten in 3 days that there is an issue. File an issue in GitLab and explain the exact problem. And if you have a local system, or if you have manual steps to adjust things, describe them. Copy paste configs that you modify and whatnot, so without technical detailed information, this is non-solvable.
There are several items where we currently collide, and the thing is, I have no customer in sight that would be willing to pay for this, and my my time constraints. So this is not going to happen in the near future unless this application goes through. Then we can add items and say, okay, this will need to be fixed, and this will take about this amount of time.
Yeah. I think to be pretty clear and honest, this whole STF application, because you will be a total power tester and one that has an interest that all these things work, you have to provide a lot of information and use GitLab appropriately and do code reviews. You have to do code reviews, which means you install a package, you modify something that is seen in a patch, you test it, and if it works for you, then you install it. Or we have dev packages. We have the CI. So based on Debian Trixie at the moment, probably 4 key then, You could even download a deb package and test things then. But so be prepared to follow what developers do and maybe provide information that is not development but need close to it.
Yeah.
So because only doing it on audio tracks will not work.
Mm-hmm.
So it needs configs and it needs code reviews and stuff like that. Okay. So I think the parallelizing aspect is sort of granted because we have Mihai, we have me, or maybe I bring Daniel or Guido or whoever into this. The question is, do we want to think about Alex and shove workloads over to him? Do we know if he's available? Certainly, everything we discover in X2Go HTML client, he's probably the best person to work on that. But if he's not around, then we need to find maybe someone else who understands his code.
So about his willingness to work on this, I have never seen him turn down paid work.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. Yeah. Okay.
So yes, I believe we should at least ask him to work on X2Go HTML client if we get a funding for it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm always scared about his coding style.
Well, then just add another item, code review or style fixes. I know at least one member in our current group that does one hell of a job at providing properly formatted,
I know.
nicely styled code.
Yeah. The thing with X2Go client, I mean, so every software project at some point comes to a stage where it should actually be rewritten, and X2Go client is certainly among them, and not going to happen. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. No, it's just yeah. So I mean, Mia, you're probably doing it all the time when Alex is submitting some code changes, that you do all the white space cleanups and whatnot.
Not really, but yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So
guys,
but the application is doable, Stefan. So I'm not so scared. It needs really to sit down and do the homework. And
so Mike,
and I would like to apologize for using the term guys, because we should all use folks from now on, since we have a female member in the round.
Yeah, regarding the X2Go client release and the Windows and Mac stuff, I mean, so you've estimated like 88 hours for that.
no,
only for
no, it's not done. Mihai, forget it.
Yeah, okay.
It's
Well,
I think
estimate about.
We discussed certain items here, and I increased the hours.
Yeah.
But we hadn't gone through, and of course, I can't estimate Windows client release. I don't even know if do we have to do a Windows 10 and Windows 11 build? Do we with macOS? I don't have a clue, really. So but Stefan and Mihai, if you can sit down and
we'll figure something out.
Pinpoint all the steps that are needed, that would be cool.
Okay. Just for everybody, it is now 20 minutes to 2200. So I don't see us tackling the better place issue today anymore, because that will definitely take more than 20 minutes. Therefore, I would like to ask Naira and especially Mike, if you two would be available on Wednesday or on Thursday.
I try to be available on. I want to promise to be available on Wednesday.
Okay.
So I'm not on
Naira,
Tuesday.
would Wednesday work for you?
Still muted.
Naira, your microphone is muted. If you can't use it at the moment, feel free to use the chat. Okay, she can't hear us. Okay, I'll type.
My computer is getting hotter and hotter.
And there she goes.
Yeah, but that's not an issue because she can always read the chat even after reconnecting, so that's not.
Hello, Naira. Welcome back. If
Hello,
you can hear
can
us,
you hear me?
we can hear you. Yes.
Yes.
So the question was, we would like to reschedule the Better Place topic to either Wednesday or Thursday. So not tomorrow, but either Wednesday or Thursday. Would Wednesday work for you?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll update the schedule in the wiki later on tonight, and we'll discuss the Better Place issue on Wednesday. And with that, unless anyone still wants to discuss things regarding the Sovereign Tech Fund, I would say we end the meeting a little bit early today.
Fine
I
for me.
don't hear any objections, so
Wednesday's good.
sounds good to me. Let me just switch to the official goodbye slider. I think I have one somewhere here. Yeah. So there we go. Share screen 2. So that's all for tonight. Thank you for your time. And again, if you have any questions, any requests, any suggestions for tomorrow, please speak up now. Okay, since nobody's saying anything, we will declare this meeting over for today and see everybody tomorrow at 8 p.m. Bye.
Yep.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Bye.
So,
Bye.
Stefan. Okay,
So,
yeah,
recording
I'll
has
just
stopped.
I'll just stop my recording. Und wenn wir jetzt schon dabei sind, dann noch eine andere Frage. Also, kannst du mir zu morgen den Stream-Key besorgen? Ja, ne? Das kriegen wir hin.
Den Stream-Key bis morgen, ja.
Ja.
Morgen kriegen wir das schon irgendwie hin. Ich muss
Ja.
bloß